Well, it is a red letter day for New Zealand cricket. I mean, who would have thought 36 years later they would win a test match in India? I was 4 years old when New Zealand won a test match. Gulati wasn't even born. Nikhil would have been 10 years of age, the oldest of the lot here, because even Ashwin, amongst the Indian cricket team, was the oldest at that time to have seen if he was. Because he was 2 years old when that test match happened. He was 1986. Rohit was 1.5 years. Virat was 3 weeks old. Jadeja born in 88, but it was December.
And no, 10 of the New Zealand's 11 players, they weren't even born.
They weren't even born. Only Ajaz Patel. But that was 2 months old. No 5G, no Twitter, no Facebook, no Instagram, no satellite TV, no smart TV. So much has changed. And 21st century, they won.
India only had one World Cup.
Yes, only one World Cup. And they lost in the previous year, the World Cup hosted at home.
But overall, only a third win for New Zealand
And
in
forget
India.
that Australia had never been crowned world champions.
Yes.
Yes.
No, they were crowned.
86, no,
87,
87.
87.
87.
They were
Just
crowned.
crowned world
Just
champions.
crowned world champions.
Yeah. So 88 was a colossal year for Indian sport and Indian cricket because your sporting decline had begun in the biggest possible way.
But just digressing a bit, and before 88, were Pakistan cricket's issues were the same?
No,
were
they were
much
always
better.
the same. No, issues were always there, but they were a much, much better team. I mean, in those days, they were a stronger team than India, without doubt.
Pakistan were miles ahead of India. And our 80s is not a decade I look for fondly because your sporting decline had begun. You didn't win anything in 88's
In the
Seoul.
Olympic Games, yeah.
You didn't win anything in 92
Last major was
Barcelona.
85. The world
Even in
championship.
cricket, when you look at it, you were swept away everywhere you went away.
But 80, you won an Olympic gold.
Yeah, but that's it.
That was also not a full-fledged
It
gold.
was Western nations had
boycotted,
boycotted.
83 World Cup win, 85 you won that world championship.
That's it.
And then 87 semi-final. Yeah, a heartbreaking
that
loss,
way though.
but still.
From November 1987 until 1992, it was India's darkest sporting phase ever.
But so many of your superstars were born.
Yeah.
MS Dhoni,
Yes.
right? Yuvraj Singh.
Virat
Dhoni
88.
81, Virat
Virat.
88,
So all of these
Rohit
were-
87.
These all guys were born now that time. So 80s gave you those players.
Yeah, but I feel like the 80s and the 90s all over again because losing at home twice to different opponents, it's happened for the first time since 87. You lost to, I remember 87, you lost one to Pakistan.
Yeah.
And you lost, I think, probably to England, one test. But then now there is no tail. 90s, 5 batters, and uske baad it was that O Palan Hare Nirgun Ho Nyare. Here also, O Palan Hare Nirgun Ho Nyare only. So I feel like I've gotten back into time warp. New Zealand winning in India, 88, now 2024.
Only their third win in 55 years in India.
Wow.
1969, 1988, 2024.
But that doesn't mean, I mean, I know it's a major day for New Zealand and they need to celebrate, but I don't think that in any way indicates that, and also remember where they were coming from. They clearly came in as the underdogs, not having a great time, getting into this series versus India, losing Kane Williamson. For this test match. So everything that could go wrong for them in terms of form, in terms of the opposition, everything. Yet, so it's a massive day for New Zealand cricket, but I'm not very downcast when it comes to Indian cricket. Like and quite honestly, even though this is a convincing win, I mean, they cannot be more convincing than winning a test match by 8 wickets. It's as convincing as it comes. But at no point did I ever think, or am I thinking now, that, this series, India is going to be troubled, because I know that this was a rare failure for India. This is a rare occasion where you were 46 all out. That's never going to happen. And despite that, you made a match of it. Who knows, another 50-60 runs, it could have been a different test match. So even now, and again, it happened versus England too. You lost the first test match. From there, you did 4-0 to them. So it's not that that England team was far better than this Kiwi team. So it's not that I at any point have a doubt that this Indian team cannot win, and which is why it's a rare thing, because you mentioned so many records. Even if you look at the coverage and the noise around it. There are no panic buttons as such in terms of, like it sometimes happens. I remember like it was happening to an extent in the England series when you lost the first test match, to an extent in that Australia series when Australia made a comeback, to which eventually, you had a flat track in Ahmedabad. So there was still a bit of nervousness, a bit of criticism towards the captain, towards the team. Arey kya hoga, that sort of scenario. But that hasn't happened this time, whatever I'm gauging in terms of social. Because I think everyone knows this is a very rare match that happened. And India is still quite favourite to win the remaining series.
Yeah, I mean, they have made a comeback. 2017, they made a comeback after losing the first test, won it 2-1. 2021, they made a comeback after losing the first one. 2024, twice now you're staring at that situation. One, you lost in Hyderabad, now you have lost in Bengaluru. Hardly an hour's flight difference, but you lost 2 tests at home for the first time. So,
what happens to the WTC now? Anything, should the Indian team and by that extension Indian fans be worried?
See, India's percentage of points earned has obviously dipped from 74 to 68.08 about. So what this still means is that this not really big alarm bells, but then now you have a total of 7 matches remaining, 2 against New Zealand, Pune, Mumbai, and the remaining 5 of the all important Border Gavaskar Trophy. So if I have to speak about the scenarios, then India need to win at least 3 matches and draw 1, so as to like hold that strong position as far as a possible spot in WTC final is concerned.
Lose the remaining?
See,
let's say if they win 2 and draw 1, they can lose the remaining and still qualify.
No. They have to win 3.
See, it's not a concrete no.
So okay, if they win 3,
Yeah.
then they lose the rest.
Guaranteed then, yes.
So if they win 3 test matches,
Yeah.
then they are through.
They are
No
through.
matter what happens in the remaining.
At least
Yes.
1 draw.
1 draw is also important. 3 wins and 1 draw.
So that's what I'm saying. So if they win those 3 test matches and draw 1, then no matter what happens in the remaining test matches, that is the 3 test matches that remain, if you were to lose all 3, it's okay.
It's okay.
Provided you do not have any deduction in the
Over rate also.
That's another thing.
That's
but
another
assuming, I mean, that is a rare chance. It does happen, I agree. But
Australia have lost 10 points.
So let's take the worst case scenario. India can do much better than that also. Let's take the worst case. So what do you reckon? You see them winning 3 and drawing 1?
See, they can win 2, in this series. But Pune weather is very dodgy. The weather in Pune is not looking good. So, worst case scenario, that ends in a draw. They win in Mumbai. So, the series ends 1-1. Okay, so you're 1-1. But then you have to win 2 and draw in Australia then.
No, 2 you have to win because
You have to win 2.
Only draw to you've done.
Draw
no?
you're done. You have to win 2 in Australia.
Yeah.
Now, whether this team can win 2 in Australia, it's happened, 2 times before. But
They're
third
going
time,
as the defending champions,
Yeah.
They're going as the
4-time defending champions now.
Last
home and
Australia
away.
won a BGT was in 2014. They haven't
There you
beaten
go.
India in 10 years.
So why are you so pessimistic about India's chances?
Looking at their batting this time around, I mean, I understand that in the past, you might have bounced back. I mean, even England, you had optimism because you had 1 freakish innings, but a batting unit folding up for 46 at home, not able to survive 1-2 sessions. And that is what you have to expect in Australia. 1-2 sessions, you have to play it out with the new ball, and on top of that, Perth and Adelaide is, I think, it could break the morale of the Indian team, because Perth, Optus, pacey, bouncy, little bit of swing. You've seen tall fast bowlers. Where have we heard that? Australia, 3 tall fast bowlers. Adelaide, ping ball. Australia lost just 1 ping ball test. Only chance that India have is potentially either Melbourne or Gaba or Sydney. I'm assuming the Sydney test to be a draw because of all the weather.
I'm surprised. I know you're putting Gaba as the place where India have a better chance than Adelaide now. I know because you're looking at the last test series, but
Can happen. And see, a 5-test series, you don't know who you're going to rest. Can you afford to rest? Now with Bumrah playing, now can he be rested for 2 tests now? With India now down, if you rest him for the next test, 80% of India's attack is blunted.
see, it depends what kind of pitch you get in Pune. I saw Akashdeep practicing right after the game was done. He was bowling Good news also, Shubman Gill
is
practicing.
was practicing, so the crick in his neck, the sprain in his neck is gone. So,
yeah.
but does
Shami
that
was
mean
also bowling.
does that mean it's good news? No, but I don't think Shami comes into the Test
he-
series. But so I'm only talking about the ones coming in for Pune. So looks like an Akashdeep and Gill will come. I think you'll have to rest Jasprit Bumrah.
Yes.
Come what may, you will have to rest Jasprit Bumrah next Test match. And I know that Jasprit Bumrah going out is a massive dent to the Indian team, considering the kind of quality he brings. But you'll have to do that. You have no option. I still believe that without a Jasprit Bumrah also, an Akashdeep and a Siraj, depending again what pitch that you're going to have, I think you will get a similar sort of a pitch which will, not really offer too much help to the fast bowler, maybe even less than what you saw in Bangalore. The overcast conditions, I think, really changed the whole scenario, and that first 2 hours that India had to bat. So I don't think you will have, if you have a spinning track in Pune, you go in with your 3 spinners, you can rest a Bumrah and with your 2 fast bowlers. Also, I think this team is far superior than New Zealand to win the Test match. I know it's a gamble, but then where else do you rest him? That third Test match, the other option you play him the second Test match, rest him for the third. But then, what's the point then for resting? Because after third, there is anyway going to be enough rest for him.
It's mostly a 10-12 day rest period for Bumrah after the end of the third test, if he plays all.
That's what I'm saying. So the best time is, if you really want to rest him, is now.
Unless you don't lose the series. Because you are in risk of losing a series. Because somewhere the law of averages has to catch up. You've done it 3-4 times.
Would you rather have a fully fit Jasprit Bumrah for Australia? Or are you going to be like, no, let me use him how much ever we can here and win this series, and then let's think about WTC, BGT later? I don't know. If I were Gautam Gambhir, Rohit Sharma, I'm resting Jasprit Bumrah. Provided I have a nice spin-friendly track in Pune, I'm resting him now, because then I will use him for the third Test match. Then he has another gap, so I use him again for the Australia series, and that's how I balance it. That would be my plan, but I don't know. There's no right or wrong answer.
That's what even I also said in the live that we did before this, that I'm going to rest Jasprit Bumrah for the second test, bring him back for the third, and then after that, Mumbai test also, he'll have sufficient time to recover and rest, before you eventually begin the BGT. But I think the answer to your question, whether you asked India, can India win the remaining 3, like they can win 3 matches and draw
Out
1?
of 7, 3 wins, 1 draw. Can India do it?
Yeah. Irrespective of the result in Pune, like even if Pune is a draw because of the rain threat that there is, I feel that India can win 3
This is
and
the
draw 1.
unusual time for it to be raining in Pune. It should not be raining in Pune at this.
In fact, when we last saw Navratra and Mumbai getting rained out, very weird climate conditions this time around. Because even, you've been in Delhi NCR for so many years, Nikhil. When did we see unprecedented rainfall in September?
Yeah. No, this time it's been excessive rainfall everywhere. I agree, and it's extended also. I agree, and Pune it rains far more than Delhi NCR.
Yep.
But this is also an unusual time for it to be raining. So okay, rain aside, but you are fully confident, and I kind of agree with Gulati here that I know that India ideal scenario had thought in their minds that 3-0 we do here, so we go to BGT. Without the pressure of WTC, of course, Indian team going to Australian shores, and considering they won 2 series, you're going to win there, because Indian fans are such that they would not expect anything less than a series win, even though this time it will be a much tougher contest than the 2 times previously. Everything said and done, you would have gone to 1 there. But the thing is that back of your head, you would have still been okay that you are playing a WTC final, you're kind of qualified. You would have won a test and drawn a couple maybe, so you would have been well sorted. Now, I don't know. I think if you get to Test match, even if there's mild rain, the way cricket is being played, you get a Test match result. I see India winning these 2 Test matches here, and definitely winning a Test match in Australia and drawing 1 for sure. In fact, maybe winning 2 and drawing even more. We don't know. But I think India still, I'm not too worried. Yeah, the point that you make about why you worried is about India's batting and how they folded for 46. And will that continue in Australia? Yeah, it's not ideal. I think in those conditions, tough as they were, but I still expected India to, those are conditions you needed to notch up 150 or, right? A good batting lineup should be able to do it. India did not do it. Maybe this was a wake-up call. Maybe this made them realize that, listen, we have to, turn the switch for test match cricket as well. Fine. And I also see hope in the fact that India has gone to Australia. See, the thing with Australia is not seam-friendly condition. Thing with Australia is that extra bounce. And somehow I have seen Indian batters, not from now for at least 2 decades, really adjust to the conditions in terms of that extra bounce. India has found a way to tackle that extra bounce, which used to be a problem in the eras that we started our show with, right? That was the trouble. But not much seam movement there, which you only get with the pink ball, which you got. So that's a rare phenomenon. Otherwise, I think with the flat, good, bouncy conditions, truer bounce condition that you get, I think all your batters, whoever ends up playing, in a Rishabh Pant, a Rohit Sharma, a Virat Kohli, all of that, whether it's Sarfraz, KL, I don't know about that, but whoever, they will enjoy. Even Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Pick
They'll all enjoy.
and anybody
Rohit,
goes out.
obviously.
Pick Sarfaraz and anybody goes out. Shaz.
Shaz said.
Shaz, eh? But that is the problem. See, every time an Adelaide can't be repeated.
Yeah.
36 all out, but you won't. They woke up in Melbourne. But this Australian team.
That
see,
Adelaide, apart from the conditions, we forget, Hazelwood was like,
On
you
the
could
money.
put a coin on the pitch and he would pitch it there.
5 for 3.
Who was that good?
5 for 3. What a spell that was. And in that match,
Nightmare.
when you look at that match, it was all good balls that got them out, except maybe Hanuma Vihari where he tried to hit it in the air. Kohli was a bad shot, but everybody else, it was superb bowling. Here, 7 out of the 10 dismissals were bad shots in the first innings. 7 out of the 10. And that is where I think there is a problem. If India want to go with a gung-ho approach, which might help them in the other 2 tests also, but this Australian team don't want to surrender the BGT for the 5th straight time. I mean, they will join. India will join South Africa as the only other team in the modern era. I'm not talking about the 80s, where West Indies were definitely beaten them 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Modern era, 3 times only South Africa has managed to beat them.
8, 12, 16.
8, 12, 16. And in Australia, knowing a WTC final spot is at stake, they'll not give up now. That's why that one series, and they know they'll encounter alien conditions in Sri Lanka. Who knows what might happen? So that's why they would want to really hurt India where it hurts the most. And New Zealand, their trans-Tasman cousins are helping them in a big way. So it's not looking good in that sense.
Just digressing a bit, because that's something I wanted. Riyan Parag, part of that emerging squad? No, he's not.
He is not.
He didn't play the game, but is he part of the squad?
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay.
He was part last year when you lost to Pakistan in the final. Yeah.
I know, I tell you the reason I asked that question, because I was just thinking about it. Harshit Rana is also not part of it.
No, he's not.
Why is he not part of that?
There is no because Harshit Rana is a part of the travelling reserves for the New Zealand series.
That's what I'm saying. But what is the need for travelling reserves? Do you need travelling reserves?
See, in case if you decide
never found the
in case
concept
you
of
decide to rest Jasprit Bumrah, you can bring one of the pacers from the travelling reserves to the squad. That's a possibility.
You know, the problem is, I really don't know. See, you are basing it upon assumptions, but you're not allowing the poor guy to play any form of cricket at that stage. This whole concept of travelling reserves.
Does
is
a poor guy want to play cricket? I want to know at this stage.
We are looking
Because
at
if he
it
played
from-
the emerging Asia Cup, Munti had been an India player?
No.
No.
That's not.
That
That
will
does
not
not
be
that's
count
a
in the
list A.
senior team
List A,
stats. Yeah.
It's counted as a no. It's counted as a T20. List A would have been a 50.
Yeah,
over.
not
It
the
was a-
senior team
Yeah,
stats. Yeah,
it's not
internationally.
counted in
Yeah.
international statistics.
Why not? It should be, no?
But it's a A squad. A tours. Do they have test status?
No, they have first class status.
Yeah, so I think it'll be list A status then in that way. So
The Asian Games wherein India, won the gold medal.
That was-
they were counted in international
Exactly.
cricket.
Yeah.
They were
How come
counted.
because you were playing for India, representing
Yeah,
India.
you're representing
and you're not
India.
India A, even though that was technically India A or B,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
you said it was.
yeah, it was B, C, D, whatever. But then
That's-
that was a proper tournament which was included in the T20I statistic in that
Yes.
sense. But not these tours. I mean, if that was the case, Mohammad Wasim Jr. would have had more ODIs than he would have played. Last year he was there, Mohammad Wasim Jr.
There was a discussion in one of my cricket groups that how come Kareem Jannat is an emerging player? He's already played a
had
couple of
that
ODIs and
discussion.
66 T20s.
We had that discussion here when India lost in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
emerging Asia Cup final
I remember.
last year. It was, I mean, really,
Yeah.
when was a Mohammad Wasim Jr. an emerging player?
Pakistan sent half the
half
team
of,
only.
Yeah, half of them had played over 3 T20Is or 3 ODIs or more.
Yeah.
How can that be an emerging cup? That's why I don't know. See, all of them, Tilak Verma has got India experience. They have learned from the mistake. Oh, no, we played by the book in Sri Lanka. Now we have got Tilak Verma, Abhishek Sharma.
So because in Sri Lanka you actually sent emerging players.
Yes.
This time you said no, boss. People, Sports Today will sit and then make videos that India lost. So might as well send a better team.
Better team.
All experienced players. Rahul Chahar has also gone.
Yeah, I mean, all are IPL behemoths.
Yeah.
And none of Pakistan or anybody could have had that much of a thing. I mean, one guy had the audacity to even shush Abhishek Sharma. Still.
The bowler.
The bowler, yeah.
But some great hitting from Abdul Samad, that batter from Pakistan. Yeah.
Oh, that Abdul Samad.
Yeah, that
okay.
Other Abdul Samad.
Yeah.
So, in that way, it's not a good situation when you look at the India seniors team, because either the batters are losing form at the most inopportune time. Okay, you were rescued by a second innings display, but overall, 17 wickets fell for 100 runs. Overall.
Coming back to the test series, do you think, as I mentioned right at the start, this time I don't see too many criticism, no panic button being pressed as such. Do you think that's fine, or we're letting the team off the hook rather easily? Even captaincy for that matter, though Rohit came and accepted all those mistakes that he made, whether it was the toss, whether it was not playing 3 fast bowlers, misreading the pitch, few other moments where we thought that partnership could have been broken when Saudi and Rachin Ravindra were putting on the runs. You think?
I think we are falling in that second category.
We're letting them off easy.
Very easily. Because I'll give you the comparison with what happened. Wasn't Virat Kohli held responsible for that 36 all out in Adelaide? The noise, the criticism that came his way. Plus, on top of that, he was not going to be part of the remainder of the BGT. Here, 46 all out. At least in Adelaide, Virat tried to be proactive. For some part, India were ahead. But your batting unit collapsed. Here, your batting unit collapsed. Clueless captaincy on day 3 ensured that New Zealand got 150 runs more than the lead that they should have gotten. Rohit's field placements and not allowing Bumrah to bowl to Saudi when he was not even set, where is that good tactical acumen? This is very surprising from a Rohit Sharma, because he's won 5 IPL titles. He's not lost a series yet. Yet you allowed the game to drift away on day 3. Moving day, as they say, day 3 was the moving day. Because from there on, you needed a Herculean task to save it. Almost came there, but his batters didn't back him. Bad batting plus poor tactics. We are shouting it out loud on the talk. I don't know how many people will have that same criticism. But I think Rohit is getting away very lightly, knowing fully well that maybe if I come back, 46 will just be a footnote. But there are issues.
Definitely there are issues, because in batting, we've seen that in the recent past also. In fact, in the last 1 year or so, you struggled in South Africa. I'll take that second test out of consideration, wherein South Africa also struggled. But in first test, you were all out very cheaply. Then South Africa went on to score 500. So you did not do well in testing conditions, and even in your own home conditions also, you're struggling against spin, off spin, leg spin, or whatever it is. So the point is that these collapses are obviously not good. They happen maybe once in a blue moon or so, and we can probably keep them aside and think that it's just an off day that the Indian cricket team had, and that's why they went on to lose the test. But batting is definitely a concern. Those big knocks are not coming. To be very honest, if this Indian batting team needs one thing as of now, it's more of khadus khelna hai attitude. That dogged determination is missing, because you want to make sure that you send Australia a message before you actually land and down under. That's the point. And your batting here is actually the kind of message that Australians are getting after looking at India's batting is that, okay, we can overcome this challenge. We can overcome India's batting challenge. In case of bowlers, obviously we'll have to work, we'll have to grind out, because there are going to be likes of Bumrah, Shami and Siraj. But then...
But if you're saying that there are problems, why do you think that that sort of criticism is not coming.
Because two of your premier batters aren't in their top form, and that's what you would need out of them in BGT.
But then, from the outside noise, whether it's social media, the convention media, why are they not as critical as?
Because, see, sometimes it's the fans who are
Achha, so
who
you're
look
saying
things from a very
the fans
different
who would
perspective.
criticize because both batters are not getting runs, so they're like, kisko?
No,
Is
it's
that
like, see, sometimes the usual discussions between the fans is that, okay, he has
No, but
done
I'm
well.
talking about, forget fans, I'm talking about commentators, I'm looking at social media, former players.
And I'm just looking at numbers. It's as simple as that.
Nobody is like really worried or speaking
So
about.
Virat Kohli's test record in the last 4 years, isn't it a cause of concern or not? It is. It is a clear cause of concern. You look at
Oh,
Rohit.
no. See, again, his form, he's actually been very unlucky. Virat Kohli, that's the problem. It's been painted as if he's unlucky, but then you cannot criticize him solely because 2023 he had a rise in form. His average was 55.
How can a batter be termed unlucky when he's getting those unplayable deliveries, maybe to a larger extent? That's not really happening with Virat.
But can I tell you one more thing on that?
Yeah.
A lot of times I've spoken to a lot of people. By the way, it is the birthday of two of my favorite cricketers, Virender Sehwag, Navjot Singh Sidhu. So wishing both of them a very happy birthday. But yeah, just coming back. Why the birthday came? Because, conversation that I've had with one of them that came to my mind. Where mentioned that sometime when you see is an unplayable ball, it's also the ineptness of a batter that makes it look unplayable on certain occasions. I'm not saying that unplayable balls don't exist. Of course they are, and good batters are made to look foolish sometimes. A good ball can do that. But sometimes what happens if you're looking at a player and saying, oh, he's getting unlucky or he's getting out so many times, that it's not that every time that good ball may be coming. It is also because there is some flaw there which is making that ball look unplayable. Maybe another player who probably does not have that flaw would have played it differently, and then same ball you wouldn't have said it's an unplayable ball. It does happen.
It does.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying, that not every time you are going to get those unplayable deliveries. Kohli's struggles against spin are very much visible. He's done well against pace, that's a different case. Even his knocks in South Africa were very useful. I think he was moving very well, his feet were moving very well. But then I think I'm not going to hide my words here. I'm not going to basically stop myself from saying this thing, that heading into Australia, Rohit and Virat are going to be a big concern, assuming they don't score big in the remaining 2 test matches in Pune and Mumbai. Australia are going to be watching all the videos of the weaknesses, of the possible weaknesses of all these batters, and they are going to exploit it. Because see, if India are to create history in Australia, if they want to become the team to win 3 consecutive times in Australia, obviously they are pretty much ready. The bowling is pretty much ready. Batting is not still there. But in case of Australia, they are more hungrier to beat India. And that's it. That is going to separate them from
No, I like
us.
your point about that Australia keeping an eye out on this Indian team. And you also gauge the team and how they're performing, and then you like to play that sort of cricket. So if you see there is vulnerability in this team, you like to pounce, and if there is any team that does that, that's valid. But again, all of that, because nowadays public memory is so short, discourse is on an everyday basis, that the next 2 test match can completely change just look at New Zealand, for example. I don't think anyone was taking them seriously before this series started because of the results leading up to this series, but look at how now people are going to be looking at them now. But if I was to look at it more objectively, and I was also trying to think that, see, 46 all out is a big disaster, right? We put out all those stats on Sports Today, and it's a rare occasion that this has happened. Why is it that, usually the Indian cricket loving public that is baying for the blood of players much more understanding this time? What could be the reason? And I think if I could point some reasons for it, one, I think because we have now gotten slightly used to the fact that you can lose the first test match and then win the series, because you've seen it happen a few times recently. I think that kind of gives you the hope that, this is it's a norm. It's not going to happen. If it was the first time it happened, then all hell would have broken loose. So that is one, right? Because you look at what has happened the last week, this is okay, teams come, but by the time... Secondly, I think the pain, and if India did not have that outstanding second innings, which took everyone by surprise, I think the criticism would have been far more, because what that particular innings told you that there is so if you were worried about Indian batting, you saw that whether it was 2 player or 3 players, or it doesn't matter, you see it as collectively and you see that and you say, okay, there's not too much to worry. This is a team in the next 2 matches will pile up 400 runs plus. I think that's another reason which is kind of put this down. And the third is that, and it may not be a major reason, but I still think it's a reason, is that New Zealand as a team, you never treated them as arch rivals, right? It's not like if it was Australia that did this to you in the first test match, you would have been seething with pain, right? Like, how did this happen? Or any other team that you're in England to an extent, if you're playing Pakistan at the moment, these are teams, if you lost, you're seething that how can this be? I think with New Zealand, one, because they've been a bit in the doldrums recently, also because in New Zealand you're not taking it as that kind of rivalry. Don't misunderstand me. I don't think anyone will accept you losing a series. But I think a combination of these factors have kind of eased the outrage on social media. If these factors weren't there, you would have seen a lot of outrage. Today, rather than being objectively discussing today, it would have been a much more fierce dugout today, where we would have been going.
There is a trend emerging. It's a top trend on X at this point. Clueless, the captain's name.
Really?
Yes, it's there.
But that's rare for a Rohit Sharma. Okay, see, whatever, you may like him, dislike him, whatever. One thing that you've seen with Rohit Sharma, and you do not judge a player by one. He made mistakes in this particular, so Shivam is showing that indeed is a trend on X right now.
Yep.
As one of the two, the most number one trend in sport at the moment, alongside India versus New Zealand. Anyway, but see, to be fair to Rohit, you can criticize him for a lot of things, and we've also done that. The few points that he failed to catch hold of the opportunity, which he himself has said, the few places that he faltered. But overall, I don't think he is a clueless captain, right? You can't judge him by a test match. That's the least of any worries you should have with Rohit Sharma, right?
Yes.
There could be many worries about a player, but I think that's the least of worry you should have, because he's not that. But I don't think even the best of captains have had bad days. And he himself will admit, if you were to ask him, it was one of his
worst days, worst test matches. I mean,
a forgetful test
press
match.
conference was very brave.
Yes.
First day when they got blasted out of 46, very brave press conference. And to admit that, I made a mistake, it was a misjudgment, I'm hurting. It was a candid admission, and Rohit in his own way did it. But with Virat, the unfortunate thing or the fortunate thing was, in his tenure, you lost only 2 tests in 6 years.
Yeah.
One was Australia, one was England, that too separated by a gap of 4 years each. Now Rohit in just 1 year has lost 2 tests at home.
Yes, yet he remains undefeated at home.
Yes,
in a
he's
series.
not. He's the same league as Virat. Only thing is, losses might be more, but series losses still zero.
Can I tell you one more factor which I think you should give credit to Rohit Sharma, is that, see, again, it would have been an easy road to take, what Indian cricket had been taking under Rohit's captaincy as well, was preparing those gaddas.
Yes.
Right. So the easier option would have been, he could have gone back to that same thing, prepared it, and more often than, I know it backfired on a couple of occasions, they changed it, but I like the fact that they have. Whenever you are under pressure, the easiest thing is prepare gadda.
Will you hold your thought if they prepare a rank turner in Pune?
I would not be happy. I will definitely not be happy. Again, I do not expect them to prepare juicy pitches like you saw in Bangladesh. That's also not your nature. Fine. But prepare, as I keep telling you, the right template is
Rajkot,
pitch,
England.
Correct, the pitches that you had, that, and even to an extent the Bangalore pitch.
Exactly.
I think it was just that first day overcast condition and you misread it. Overall, I think the pitch played well. If you see overall how, and that is what you would want a test match pitch to play like. I think because of the moisture around, the rain around, and the sweating that the pitch did, it produced it. So I'm happy with this. If you were to prepare a typical Indian pitch in Pune also, I would be fine. Yeah, but if you were to get a pitch which has gadda, one thing I like today, I don't know if you saw, which is, again, I like this attitude about the Indian team. when New Zealand had just come out to bat. Did you see that there was a
They were
movement?
laughing in a...
Not laughing. Pant and Virat on purpose go to the batting crease in between overs, and they are like
Yes,
looking at
they
the
were
pitch.
very- yes.
And they're talking out. And you know what gave away? Virat Kohli, while pointing and is also slyly looking at the batters.
Yeah.
That are they looking here or not? Which is giving me
Yes,
see, if you see-
mind games.
which is telling you that he's not come there to discuss. He wants them to hear that there is a gadda, there is this. Now you'll have a problem.
The broadcaster showed it that this
yes.
was during the overs, in
So
between the overs.
So the
Yes,
batters
yes.
were looking, but I'm saying, while Virat is talking, see, supposing you are not doing it for batter, then you'll just talk between.
Yeah.
I can see Virat, looking there, he's looking, talk like that. So that, I like that gamesmanship. It didn't. Yeah. So it did not work out to India advantage, but I like the pressure.
That
the
time
game.
New Zealand were actually under pressure.
Yeah.
Bumrah was breathing fire at that
He
time.
was.
Yeah.
He was.
8 overs of cheat
The
code.
two
bowling.
deliveries to Tom Latham, like he set him up.
Yeah, 1-2-2 going on, one sharp dart back. But yeah,
Akashdeep today, 3 fast bowlers, who knows?
3 fast bowlers indeed. So it's a rude jolt for you. It is a rude jolt, and now your path to the World Test Championship final is not so straightforward as you would have thought.
But having said that, I think we discussed, and I think that's what we spent time discussing. The last 40 odd minutes was, can India make it or not? What is this? This is Shivam Giri for.
Yeah, Shivam Giri, yes.
Okay, before we wind up, we will take this segment called Shivam Giri, where Shivam, our producer, comes up with memes.
Yeah.
So this is the one that says Ashwin receiving ball from Rohit when only 13 runs are needed. So he's getting a prize and all.
I know, why did he have to bowl?
Well, I think he should have got the spinners on early because Jadeja, did you see?
Yes.
Oh, the rip he was getting from the rough. Who knows? But I guess it was a catch-22 situation. Very few runs, right? So you just don't know. But
That's what he said in the post-match press conference also, that wanted to give Bumrah an extended spell. Because that was your best
Trump
chance
card.
of winning. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But you never know. Spinners could have done it today. Could have. Okay, this
This is
is
from
आज
Sri
मैच
Munna
स्टार्ट
Look at
होने से
Virat.
जा भाई 100
This is from Munna Bhai BBS.
सुबह हो गई.
Yes.
yeah, obviously everyone must be like
Seriously.
साजिंग भाई तू ही है आज कर दे.
He was the only guy who could have done it for you. And
Yeah.
just imagine 100 runs more the target.
8
New
overs on the
Zealand's
trot? 8 overs on the trot?
Yeah, he bowled 8 overs.
Yes.
That's why I say he needs a rest now.
Like, yeah, he
He needs a rest.
Yes.
Okay. और इसने यहाँ भी CSK को क्रेडिट दे दिया.
Yeah.
Did he give credit to?
No, I don't know.
No, but why putting in Gautam Gambhir? Because he doesn't like CSK. That's not true. Because of his fight with MS.
Yeah.
But they've been friendly after that.
Yeah.
Fans can do whatever they want to
Yeah.
do.
This is very mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Rachin Ravindra drawn test in his first test against India in India. Rachin
Kanpur.
Ravindra won New Zealand's test match against India in India. जब समय आएगा तो सबसे ऊंचा, सबसे बड़ा और सबसे लंबा चलेगा.
लंबा छलांग हम ही मारेंगे.
अच्छा, which one is this? I don't know.
Oh, that
Mohenjo-daro.
No, that.
that remake
there is a
of
teacher. There is a teacher. Super 30.
30.
Yes. And this is from.
This is very mean. Please do
Whoa,
not
this is
show
very
that.
mean, yeah.
Why should we show this? They karna padega. I see again this whole thing. Fans. All of them must be happy. It's done well.
Obviously.
Though somebody shared a story of Ajinkya Rahane on Insta with a heartbreak. I don't know if it's true or not. Probably got it wrong.
Maybe that heartbreak was for Mumbai losing to Baroda, perhaps.
Shreyas Iyer has scored 100.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the heartbreak. Maybe Mumbai losing to Baroda for the first time in decades. Maybe.
Or it could, I don't know, it just came to my mind. Maybe he's not a part of the India A squad for Australia A, but any which ways you would want to select youngsters there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's also a point.
Now you are falling in the Pakistan trap. Ajinkya Rahane emerging. Wow.
Okay.
Not a good.
Next one is KL Rahul saying Indian cricket fans मुझसे 19th date पर runs की expectations रख रहे थे.
19 November.
Yesterday.
66 of 106.
And yesterday was 19th. He fell for 10 runs.
Today not very good ones. Shivam. Not really great ones.
Arey, this is again from Tarak
Another
Mehta
main
Ka
one,
Ulta
yeah.
Chashma. Baga.
Not good ones today. Shivam.
Shivam
These are not
Giri.
funny. These are mean. To be mean and think you're funny is
Only
not.
the Ashwin one was good.
Sense of humor. Yeah, sense of humor. You need some good sense of humor.
Okay.
So not many.
Today Shivam Giri not in
Shivam
top
Giri
notch.
is not in top form today. Maybe because again, you know, you need material also. Na? Today the match wasn't as such.
He's
It
sad.
gave you
India lost, na, so that's
enough
why.
material. Okay. On that note, thank you. With that, another edition of the Dugout comes to an end. Do send in your comments. Sorry we could not take your questions, but do write your comments in the comment section. We'll try and address some of those on a Monday.
Yeah.
Another week, it's going to be busy. Tomorrow, on a Monday, we'll try and discuss the team, what should be the playing 11 going forward. Not too many days left.
Yeah, 3 days left.
Yeah, the next test match in Pune. We'll also get you some latest from Pune, what could be the weather like, the pitch. But for that, join us tomorrow. Also, plenty of other content around this test match. Also from the world of cricket, tonight is the final and we'll be live right after the women's final.
Yeah.
So
Double delight for New Zealand potentially.
Who knows? We'll
Yep,
see.
yep.
So see you then. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. Shubhratri. Shabba khair. Nandri. Vanakkam. Anything?
Eat your vegetables and don't trouble
Don't trouble
your
your
mother.
mother.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.